7 a.m. is when they normally start the tailgating. For this particular meeting, because it's the opener and it's supposed to be a big crowd, they're not opening those lots until 2 o'clock.
Okay.
It's changed now.
Yep.
The way it is always
Okay.
been. Right. No.
I
thought I was talking to you, but I guess it's like,
There you go. Is it
right?
change?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, yeah.
So you're good.
Cool.
8, 7,
All set to go?
6,
Sorry,
5.
you're good with that.
Oh, yes, yes.
So this is mostly just a retread of your.
Okay. Yep.
So I think kind of Spartans fans know how to pack the stadium. They also know
It's just weird.
So like just real
Absolutely,
quick,
just kind of shorten that down and okay.
and then
Sounds good.
I was fair. I was curious for
this line doesn't.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you, Tim?
Okay, gotcha.
It's finally a beautiful day on the second
Perfect day.
Thursday of high school football after last Thursday when the world nearly came to an end around here.
It is. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot better weather for these teams because I feel like we're really starting to get into it. And we've got a couple of pretty good games that we're going to get to in a minute. But first, I want to talk about something really cool that happened in another state, in Nebraska. The world record-setting night in the Cornhusker State for volleyball. Did you see video of this?
Well, it's the women's world record for attendance at a single sporting event.
It's pretty cool.
The women's world record. I mean, look, the Big Ten's a volleyball league. Nebraska's won 5 national titles. The coach has been there 24 years. There are no pro sports in that state.
Good point.
Football's been down, and they hyped this thing for months and months and months. The only thing I would have done differently, and it certainly didn't affect the attendance, when Michigan played Michigan State in the outdoor hockey game, they played each other, so it was a big deal. When State played on the aircraft carrier, they played North Carolina and they played Gonzaga, so the games were a big deal. Nebraska played Omaha. I get the fact they wanted 4 in-state schools because they had 2 division schools warm it up. To me, there was no drama other than the crowd was the drama because Nebraska just annihilated Omaha because Nebraska's ranked 5th in the country and might be better than that. But maybe that's a tribute more to those fans who did go. Look, Nebraska's fans are incredibly loyal. Imagine what they'd be like if they ever won in football again. You know. And by the way, will these fans be watching on Fox at 8 tonight when they open the season with a new coach at Minnesota? Because that's on. And how many of these people drove to Minneapolis either earlier today or after that to get ready for because that's a Big Ten opening football game tonight. They say some of those tickets there last night scalped for $400.
Wow.
Good for them.
I think it's really impressive. I think it'd be a cool event to go to.
If I was to suggest that they're going to do this in the future, I would try to get Nebraska and the 3 best teams in America play a doubleheader, split the money up, and have a big season opening doubleheader, because if Nebraska could draw that for the teams they had, if you took the 3 other best teams in the country going into the preseason and lined them up, say Wisconsin, I mean, pick their, I don't know all of them, right? But, so you had the top 4 playing each other. To me, that wouldn't lose its luster. You could maybe, and then you'd have to split the money up, and who wouldn't take it? It's volleyball. It's not a revenue sport per se, although at Nebraska they made some money last night.
One more thing I want your opinion on before we move on to high school football. You know that Aaron Rodgers left Wisconsin and Green Bay for the New York Jets.
I heard that.
Wisconsin's not very happy about it. So
I don't know why. The guy complained for the last 5 years, every practice, every day, every moment he had, he complained about something, and they didn't win everything. So if you don't, then why is this guy over and above? I mean, in my opinion, getting rid of him's the best thing that ever happened to the franchise. Not when he was in his prime.
When he was in his prime, he was
He's
good.
39 or 40, and all he did was complain, and they didn't win. I think the guy behind him, you give this guy Jordan Love a chance, I'll bet he's a lot more effective than you might think.
Well,
they won't have nearly the distractions, in my opinion, they've had the last 2 years with Rodgers moaning and groaning and blah, blah, blah.
Awkward post-game conferences. But a Milwaukee bar is offering free booze should Aaron Rodgers and his new team lose a game.
Well, some fans are bitter over it. I mean, let me tell you, they'll forget him in a hurry if this guy does well. This Jordan loves it. This guy's a good player. You wait and see. I remember he played with, Utah and State and Spartan Stadium. He went up and down the field. He just hasn't had a chance. And by the way, the guy did this for publicity, and you're giving it to him.
I'm giving it to him. I just think it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's a little bit of a revenge.
Well, they're going to get
maybe a little petty.
He's not going to win. If Rodgers thought it was tough in Green Bay, just wait till he watches that Swiss cheese offensive line, who he's already complained about with the Jets go for him. But that's next week. This is high school and college week around. The Spartans and Wolverines are playing this weekend.
They sure are.
You got your game face on yet?
I have been saying I wanted to dig out my Western Michigan gear to wear, but everybody from Central is giving me dirty looks.
Western Michigan?
I'm not Western Michigan. See, look at Ann.
Western Michigan has the worst home schedule in the history of Division I football.
They're okay colors.
Okay, all right. If I was a head coach here, I'd tell that athletic director, get me a schedule that I can build around, or, this is never going to work. They open tonight with St. Francis of Pennsylvania, but they're selling alcohol. So that isn't a complete loss.
Interesting.
So they got a Thursday night game against a nothing team. September's the month in Michigan you want to play home football games. They don't play another home game till September 30th, a month from now. Then they don't play another home game till the 14th of October, 2 weeks after that. Then the last two home games are Tuesday nights in November when it's 100 below zero and they're not playing for anything. So why would you buy a season ticket to Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo when that's the 5 home games, 2 Saturdays, and only one at the end of September and one in the middle of October?
I only ever went to Western hockey games. I never went to a football game.
Well, that's probably, I can understand why with that schedule.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
We do have to check in on the MLB. The Tigers and Yankees are at the top of the 10th, tied 3-3.
Well, the classic was they had down to the last strike, and the Yankees hit that shortstop, who's a rookie. I don't have his name. He hit a 3-run homer down the line of right field. It just cleared the fence with 2 out. And that Manning threw it 2 hits. Of course, they take him out. 6 inning, 2 hits, shutout. He's going to win the game easily. And then the guy hits a 3-run homer, so now they're in the extra innings.
What do you think is going to happen? Are they going to blow it? When I try to pull you out of the sports
Tigers
office,
have lost 5 in a row at home. They've been outscored 40-11.
And the Yankees aren't good.
Well, they've been better in this series.
All right. And then, of course, we were saying college football.
Well,
Kicks off
the
tomorrow
number of games. Well, tonight
Lansing.
you got Florida at Utah tonight. Florida beat the Hurricane out of town. They flew to Dallas Wednesday, overnighted in Dallas, flew to Tuesday, flew to Salt Lake City. They're in town. They played last year in Gainesville, and it was a great game, went to the wire. So this is the return game.
Let's take a look at East Lansing as Spartan Stadium's getting prepped for tomorrow's game, too.
That looks like the same shot we've had for 350 days.
I know, but I needed to take that camera shot, so.
Well, that's it. I mean, you identified it. That's tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports 1. Not Fox, not Fox Sports. Fox Sports 1.
Very important. And then we do have a couple of high school games that there's actually a lot of high school games on my list here, but we're going to.
There's 2 games of note that'll be led on the Frenzy tonight. You got 2 games with area schools playing each other, and they're all 1-0. The big game's Mason at DeWitt. These are the 2 best teams in the area. Mason is 40-6 in its last 46 games. DeWitt is 45-1 in its last 46 home games. Have at it. By the way, there'll be. You got Hudsonville at East Lansing. Hudsonville beat Howell 28-2. East Lansing lost at Portage Central 17-7. Close game there. Now, Okemos at Clio. Okemos has lost 32 in a row. But Clio, in its last 135 games, has 20 wins. Something's got to give there.
Yeah.
And by the way, that game was scheduled because one of them's got to get a win. Neither one. Clio's had 21 straight losing seasons, but Okemos has lost 32 in a row. The game's at Clio. Sexton and Catholic, they're both 1-0. That'll be close, very close. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it's not the game of the week. To me, it's a game of the regular season.
That's what you were saying when you came over here. It's the game of the whole year.
These are the 2 best. They went to the semifinals a year ago, and both of them got beat by monster teams. Theoretically, they could play each other in the state tournament. coming up in November.
And we do have a story on our homepage. Those two schools, Mason and DeWitt, they've come together to honor two students who were killed, two Mason High School students who were killed in a car crash.
Well, it probably would make a bigger deal out of that if the game was at Mason. This is at DeWitt. What DeWitt does with it, I don't know, if anything. It's a sad story either way. When that thing headlines big games tonight, I'm not sure Okemos-Seclayo qualifies, other than the fact that the win will be sweet for one of them. One of them's going to get a win, because you have to.
This is the video from Mason and DeWitt's high school principals talking about the communities coming together.
Oh, well, in that case, then, if DeWitt's planning on something, then so be it. That'd be before the game, and the game's at 7. And it'll be that place will be packed.
It definitely will be. I am considering going.
Go early, because you're going to be parking a ways away, because parking there can get a little bit distant. Because they have big crowds. That's
right,
why.
and that's good.
They have big crowds.
So this whole video and the article can be viewed on our website, WILX.com. Basically, the two principals were coming together, talking about the communities supporting one another during this difficult time, and thanking several other area schools for providing supports with mental health professionals, therapy dogs, and more. So very good video to watch there. If you get a chance, check that out.
All right.
Who hit the walk-off?
Who
hit
got it?
Oh, so it's a base hit to drive in a run. So the Tigers won 4-3 and 10. All right, there you go.
All right.
Highlights at 6.
And David Andrews knows before our MLB. So
What are they discussing? Who bet on the game? Oh, they're challenging.
Yankees challenging the play.
All right, well, I got to get in there and
Well,
take care of this good stuff.
You get in on that. Of course, we'll
All
have
right.
more Friday Night Frenzy.
Busy
Joey
Thursday,
Ellis.
Friday Night Frenzy at 11:15.
On Thursday.
And we got another one tomorrow night after the state game, when we'll have all post-game coverage of State and Central.
Make sure you stay tuned in online, on air, and on all your streaming platforms. And we will see you later. Thanks for watching.